everybody. It's so good to be with you again. Today we have a lesson about weather and the wind. We have had some crazy weather. We've had some nice, really warm days where we've been able to be outside without coats on. And then we had a huge, ridiculous snowstorm on Easter. And that brought us like 6 inches of snow, and that was silly. And now finally the snow melted again about a week later. So we have really experienced some silly spring weather. We've also experienced rain and wind and hail and those kind of things too. So we're going to kind of explore those today. So I am wondering, because we all kind of live in different places. Some of us live in Escanaba, some of us live in Rapid River, some of us live all the way out in Seney. So we've got lots of people everywhere. So I'm wondering if you had the same kind of weather I had at my house in Gladstone, or if you had different weather, or maybe you only got some snow. I feel like my house got all the snow, but we also live way back in the trees and the snow really wants to stick to our ground. So, I usually like the snow, but in April, I do not like the snow at all. I want the snow to be finished, especially not on Easter. So hopefully now all our snow is finished and we'll be able to have more days of sun and warmth. I like it when it can be warm and sunny outside because then I get to go and play and not freeze when I'm outside with my children. So let's take a look at our magazine for this week. You're gonna get this magazine in your next packet home. So it's gonna look like this. Okay, and it says My Wild Weather Day. So you can read this with your moms and dads. All right, and they're gonna read it for us and we'll talk about it. So let's see.
My wild weather. The day the weather went wild. The weather changed 6 times. How did it affect my game? I'll tell you all about it. It started out chilly. I put on a long sleeve shirt. I could see my breath in the air.
I wonder how many of you guys go outside in the morning before it really warms up. Some mornings we're out and it is like 9 o'clock in the morning and it's still pretty chilly, and we can see our breath. There's sometimes we have puddles that have like a thin layer of ice on them, and then as the day goes on, by the afternoon we might be outside without a coat on. So that is a really interesting way that the weather warms up throughout the day. In the summertime, you still kind of have the same thing. It's still a little bit chillier in the morning. A lot of times in the summer, you get that morning dew and things are wet in the summertime. And then as the day goes on, it gets hot and dry. So that's another way that the weather can change throughout the day. It kind of can start out wet and then warm up and dry out.
Then it got hot. The sun came out. It was 75 degrees. I got sweaty. It got windy. The sky turned gray. The wind made it harder to kick the ball. It rained. We played in the rain. It was so much fun. I got muddy. There was lightning. We had to stop playing. We went inside to stay safe.
So far we've had a really cold day, or cold morning. Then it got hot, just like we talked about. It started out cold, then it warmed up. Then it got windy. And you know how sometimes people will talk about there's a storm a brewing. I can feel a storm coming. That's usually what they're talking about. It's getting a little windy. It's getting gray. Right now, as I'm taping this, it's windy and gray outside, and it just started spitting out some rain droplets. So kind of the same thing. A storm is a brewing. And then they could still play because it was just raining. So she said, it's really fun to play in the mud. I like that. It's really fun to jump in mud puddles. If you haven't done that yet this spring, I encourage you guys, get out, jump in mud puddles, get muddy and wet, and then just go inside and change your clothes. No big deal, right? But when there's lightning, you cannot play outside. You cannot play in the puddles. It's not safe. The lightning can be dangerous. So that's why she had to go inside to stay safe. All right, let's finish it up.
Look, there is a rainbow. The storm ended. The sun came out. We finished the game. Goal!
All right, so after the storm, then the rain stopped and they got a rainbow. That's kind of what we've been talking about through our pandemic, hasn't it been? If you guys have taken drives and you've seen rainbows in people's windows, it's just kind of like a symbol of hope that at the end of this long storm, there will be a rainbow. There is hope at the end of this. And that's just kind of what we're all reaching for right now. So remember that rainbow on your cloudiest, rainiest day. The rainbow is coming. Okay, let's go back and we are going to watch a little video about rainy weather, or different kinds of weather, excuse me.
What's the weather? When you looked out your window this morning, what did you see? Did it look like this? Or this? Or this? What you see out your window depends on the weather, and weather is a big part of our lives. We make decisions based on the weather, like what to wear and what to do. Let's say the weather is cold and rainy. What would you wear to go outside? A raincoat and boots? Or a swimsuit and flip-flops? A raincoat and boots will keep you dry. You also might need an umbrella. On rainy days, it can also be nice to stay cozy inside, especially if there's a thunderstorm. But after the storm is over, you can go out and play. It's fun to jump in puddles. What if the weather is snowy? Is it a good day to make a sandcastle or a snowman? On snowy days, you can make a snowman. Just remember to bundle up before you go outside. Brr, it's cold out there. Now let's say the weather is sunny. You might see a lot of people outside wearing these. There are a lot of things to do on warm, sunny days. You might play soccer, have a picnic, or just sit under a shady tree and read a book. Now, back to that picnic. Here's one thing that will definitely ruin it. Rain! So, what can you do if you want to plan a picnic in advance? You check the forecast. A forecast is a prediction of what the weather will be like. Scientists called meteorologists can predict the weather days in advance. They're not always right, but they help us plan ahead. Let's say the forecast says it will be windy tomorrow. It's time to get your kite ready. Windy days are great for kite flying. What other kinds of weather do you know? Cloudy means that there are a lot of clouds in the sky. Foggy means there are a lot of clouds near the ground. Clear means there are no clouds at all. So, What kind of weather is best for going to the beach? Cloudy, foggy, or clear? Clear. Just make sure to put on plenty of sunscreen. From snowy to rainy to cloudy to sunny, there are all kinds of weather. And that means there are all kinds of things to wear and do. What kind of weather is your favorite?
Right. So they wanted to know, they want to know, what do you like the most with the weather? And I would say that I like clear, warm, sunny days the most. I think most people would say that those would be their favorite days. They're the days that are nice to be outside. You can go to the beach, you can go on a picnic, you can go ride your bike. You can do those on chillier days too. It's just, for me personally, I like to be warm. So that's what I like. In the fall, I do like kind of like a crisp fall day. But I would say a solid 75 degree would be what I like the most. I want to get more of those days. Okay, so we're gonna take a look now at a game, and we're gonna pick the right clothes to wear for the seasons.
Dressing for the weather. Help Little Monster get dressed. When you are finished, click the blue arrow.
It is cold and snowy today. What should I wear?
It is cold. It's cold and snowy. So let's see. You see my kind of. I wonder if we should put on flip-flops. Think about it for a minute, and I want you to tell your mom or dad, should we put on flip-flops if it is cold and snowy? Okay, did you do your answer? Okay, we should not put on flip-flops. That would be way too cold. So if we moved our flip-flops,
Flip-flops.
I don't know. Let's go outside. Let's see what happens.
What do you think? Am I dressed for the weather?
No, he is not dressed for the weather. Let's try it
It is
again.
sunny and hot today. What should I wear?
Ooh, now would be a good time to go and put on the flip-flops.
Flip-flops.
We also might want to put on
Bathing suit.
a bathing suit and go for a swim. Now let's look at all of these. We're gonna do this should we put on a jacket if it's warm and sunny out? You should not. You will be too hot. We are not going to put on a jacket. What about sunglasses? Now, sunglasses are one of those things that, like, it can be 3 degrees outside and you can wear sunglasses, or it can be 80 degrees outside and you can wear sunglasses. It's not temperature dependent as much as it is sun dependent. So if it's a sunny day,
Sunglasses.
you want to wear sunglasses to protect your eyes. And then something that also It'll keep your chest and your belly safe from the sun, so you don't have to put sunscreen everywhere. You might want to wear a tank
Tank
top.
top.
Now, we are not going to put on earmuffs. We don't need earmuffs, it's not cold. And we are not going to put on snow boots. There is no snow. We do not need snow boots.
What do you think? Am I dressed for the weather?
Yes, I think he is. Okay. Now we have a fun science experiment. I got some really cool pictures of some friends doing the science experiment last week. I really enjoyed seeing those. I liked hearing that you found things around your house that because maybe you didn't have everything that the experiment called for, but then you found other things. And I think that was so great. I love that you guys did the gravity experiment. So I have another experiment for you to try today. It's about the wind. So just give me a minute. I'm gonna move the camera down because I've got a little table here. So just give me 1 minute. We're gonna go for a ride. And then I might have to adjust. Let's see, we're gonna move it back so you guys can see my table. Okay. All right, I think you can see me. Now when you guys get your next packet in the mail, like I said, you're gonna have this magazine. You're also gonna have this worksheet. And it says, will the wind blow it? So there's two sides to this worksheet. You're gonna predict, will the wind blow these items? And these are all items you should be able to find in your house. Yes or no, that you're gonna guess. Predict means guess. And then this side is, did the wind blow it? So then you're gonna do the experiment, you're gonna be the wind, and then you're gonna find out, were you able to move it? Yes or no? Now, I'm just gonna do a couple here to show you. And if you can't find everything in your house, like there's marker, Kleenex, most of us have Kleenex, straws, spoons, paper. Something you might not be able to find is a cube. So you can find like a Lego instead of a cube. This would be like a good option, a Lego. Or just, anything that's little, like a cube. And then the other thing that might be difficult to find, we don't all have like extra buttons laying around our house. There's a button on here. And actually I didn't have a button in my classroom that I was readily able to find. I know they're here somewhere, but who knows? So I found a googly eye. So you guys could find anything around your house. You could find a googly eye or a quarter or a penny or, anything like that to try. So now you are going to be the wind. Well, you can do it two different ways. You can be the wind, which I think is probably the most fun. But if for some reason you don't have any straws at your house, and you're not going to take a drive through McDonald's anytime soon, then you could maybe find a fan. Another way you could be the wind is take a piece of paper and make a fan out of it. So you would fold the paper like this, just back and forth, and then kind of fan it out. So we've all made these before. And then you have your own little fan. So you can do it multiple different ways. It's probably most fun to blow through a straw. But you can blow through a straw, you can make a fan, you can plug in a fan and turn it on and off. That would be really powerful wind. So there's lots of different ways you can do it. So the choice is yours. You can do however you want to do it. You could even get a toilet paper tube or a paper towel tube and blow through that. That would be another way you could make wind at your house. So I'm just gonna do a couple to show you. So first they want to know, so you have to predict. So let's do, I'm gonna do Kleenex. So I predict that the wind is going to blow the Kleenex. So I mark on my sheet, yes, I think the wind is going to blow it. Then I'm going to take my Kleenex, here it is. Preferably a clean Kleenex, maybe not one that you've used recently, but you know, to each their own. And then take your straw or your fan or your toilet paper tube or your fan or whatever wind source you want. And then you're just gonna blow it. And there it goes. Now, if you want to do this experiment before your paper comes, just start finding all sorts of stuff all over the house. Here's my cube. That blew. But you know what? Something that might not blow, or something that might depend, if you use a plastic spoon, it might blow. But if you use a metal spoon, it might not. It's not going to blow. Now, what you're going to find out throughout this is that the things that are lighter will tend to blow, and the things will tend to move with the wind, and the things that are heavier will stay still. So that's just like the weather. When big, huge tornadoes come ripping through the plain, we don't really get a lot of tornadoes in the UP, but elsewhere in the United States, when tornadoes come through, the things that aren't really structurally heavy might go up with the tornado, like cars or boats or sheds or things like that. But other things might stay put, like big tall buildings or barns or things like that. So typically, the bigger the object is, the less likely it is to get blown over by the wind. That's why it's usually, especially up here, it's usually pretty safe to go inside your house on a windy day, and you'll be safe and fine in your house. If there's a tornado warning, they typically talk about going down into your basement or to a room without windows at the lowest level of your house, because that might be where you're safest in case like the wind might take the roof off your house or something. But that doesn't happen too often up here, so that's not really something that we have to worry too much about. So there's your wind experiment. I really want to see your pictures, your videos. I want to hear your comments. I want to know that you're learning and that it's exciting for you. Let me know how you're doing. I love updates from moms and dads. Keep texting me. Keep learning, guys. I love you. I miss you. I'll see you again soon. Bye. Mwah.